What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 185 of the Tasty Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk about all things gaming. In this episode, we bring back game releases, discussing the games of April, talking about the games we want to play, the games we might not want to play, and everything in between. Then, of course, we talk about what we've been playing, including last Epoch. Maybe you're somebody who is waiting for Diablo 4 and you're looking for something to play. Well, we talk in depth about last Epoch. Maybe you should play that. Then we talk about Minecraft Legends, the final preview. We talk about it. We watch a video on it for 8 minutes and we talk about it. And then we watch the state of play. And if you're here for that, I will have this chapter, so make sure to go check that out if that's what you want to watch. We watched the state of play that showcased Final Fantasy XVI, 25 minutes deep dive on everything you need to know about Final Fantasy XVI outside of the end game that they kind of hint at. I'd like to know more on that, but we discussed that in this episode. And then, of course, we read your comments. If you want your comment to be read on the next Tastecast, make sure to type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment. Otherwise, I read at random. And yeah, we have a great conversation. Make sure to join the conversation. Make sure to comment down below if you have anything to say on the topics we talk about. Make sure to check out the different chapters for anything specific you're looking for in this episode. Like I said, if you're here for state of play, check out that chapter. And yeah, like this video. It helps us a lot. It really does. Comment, share the video with your friends, and subscribe if you're brand new. If you like what we're doing here, stick around. With all that said, hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 185 of the Tastecast, our weekly podcast where we talk all things gaming. My name's Seth, and joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, it's been like 12 days since we did our last episode. It's been a while. How you been since then?
Been okay. Not a lot of time to play games, but I've squeezed in some here and there. And then got new eyeballs.
Looking stylish.
A little more updated. I can see a little better.
Which is very good. I can't. My contacts are on my eyes weird right now, so I'm sure when we're reading some stuff on the screen, I will be fucking up, but should be good.
Okay. Yourself?
I'm good. A lot of things have come up in the last week or so we had to delay this episode and delay it. And then finally State of Play came up. I'm like, that's the day we're going to film for sure because we can't miss that. So we're here, we're filming, and we're doing good. Had a couple days there where I had to dog sit, which was fun.
I was also out of town for a couple of days.
But I couldn't do anything. I couldn't play anything. It's weird. My weeks now, I don't really play a whole lot. But on the weekend, I'm like going crazy. Like I'll sit there and play like Hunt Show. We'll talk about what we've been playing, but like I'll put like a solid 6 hours straight of just Hunt Showdown, and then I'll play something else. So my schedule has been really different. I feel like an old man at this point, the way I'm doing things. But with that, let's get this going. Glad everyone's doing all right. By everyone, I mean both of us. We're bringing back something. We're bringing back game releases to the first Tastecast of every month because I try to do these as individual episodes and it just didn't work out. I didn't like the way it felt. I prefer having the conversation. And yeah, so we're going to go through what games are coming out in April. We're in April, right? Mm-hmm. And
halfway through.
Yeah, we're just flying through this year so far. And we'll talk about what we think of what's coming out and if we're stoked for anything. So April is already going. So quite a few of these games are already out. But those games are on the 4th, we got Meet Your Maker, came out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Then on the 4th as well, we got Hogwarts Legacy on PS4 and Xbox One. I forgot it was coming out on older gen consoles. Anybody playing that, let me know. I'm really curious about that. Also on the 4th, everything's on the 4th. Grimoire once more on PS4, PS5, and Switch. And then on the 4th as well, we got Road 96 Mile Zero, quite the name, on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. We get it on everything. Last thing on the 4th was Creed Rise to Glory on PSVR 2. I wonder if is that a boxing game? Down the 5th, Movie House, the film studio Tycoon came out on PC. And then also on the 5th, we got Cabaret on PC. Then on the 6th, we got Curse of the Sea Rats, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then Paparazzi on Switch on the 6th. Everspace 2 finally fully released on PC on the 6th. Then we got April 7th, EA Sports PGA Tour, PS5, Xbox Series, PC. And then on the 11th, we got Process of Elimination on PS4 and Switch. Also on the 11th, we got Tron Identity on Switch and PC. Then on the 12th, we got Ghostwire Tokyo on Xbox Series. Congrats to the people who finally get to play that over on Xbox. And then April 14th, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection on PS4, Switch, and PC. On the 18th, we get Minecraft Legends on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 18th as well, we get the Mage Seeker, a League of Legends story. Interesting. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 19th, we get Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores. I forgot that was coming out, and it's coming out this month. That's crazy. On PS5, of course. Then on the 20th, we got Stray Blade on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Then on the 21st, we got Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp on Switch. 21st as well, we got Dead Island 2, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Then on the 25th, After Image on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Trinity Trigger comes out on the 25th as well for PC, and we also get Stranded Alien Dawn on the 25th, coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, PC. Then on the 26th, we get Honkai Star Rail on PS4, PS5, PC. Then on the 26th as well, we get Cassette Beasts on PC. 27th, we get The Last Case of Benedict Fox on Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. And then on the 27th as well, we get Bramble, The Mountain King, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, PC. Last game on the 27th is Mail Time on PC. And the last game release of April is a big one with Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. There is a lot of games and a lot of nothing, in my opinion, coming out in April. But Chevy, what's got you interested?
So I probably when we're done recording, if it's a reasonable price, I'll probably go pick up Mega Man Battle Network. I've been waiting for that. Also, I knew it was coming out for Switch. I didn't realize PS4 and PC, so I'll probably get it on PC. Let's see, Minecraft Legends. I'm curious about. Not 100 sold yet, but...
Well, we will be watching an 8-minute preview of it this episode, so maybe we can get you excited.
Yeah, but it is at least on my radar a little bit. I would like to say I'm getting Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, but I did not beat Horizon Forbidden West.
Same.
And then Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is a loose maybe. That's it.
All right. I am interested in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, but I have not finished the last game. I played it for Plus Club and enjoyed it, but never finished it, so it'd be really kind of dumb for me to start this one. But it looks pretty cool, and I'm definitely interested in it. I'm 100% picking up Dead Island 2. Somehow that game has come out in a way that seems pretty well done. Went through development hell there for a while, switched devs, which is always a bad sign, and took years to come out, and now it's finally coming out, and it looks pretty decent. So I'm definitely gonna give it a try. It's definitely right up my alley. Curious about Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. I played one of the Advance Wars back in the day, and it's pretty neat, kind of simplistic, but fun, so I could see myself playing that. Minecraft Legends, my interest in that will be purely dictated off this video we're about to watch in this episode. So you guys will find out if I'm interested in this or not, because from what I saw, it actually looked cooler than I thought it would. And after playing Minecraft Dungeons, it seems, we talked a lot about that already. Go check it out if you're curious about our thoughts on Minecraft Dungeons. It was the most recent Plus Club, but it seems like they're respecting that brand and making decent games with the Minecraft brand. So it seems like a cool idea, and I might pick it up. I'm going to recommend people pick up Ghostwire Tokyo. That game came and went, and a lot of people kind of forgot it existed. I think I saw Chris in the Discord playing it.
Did you?
Yeah. So at least he played it, because for me, a person who beat it, I don't know a whole lot of people who played it. So, and then I kind of forgot about it because nobody was talking about it. So
I own it. I just haven't played it yet.
You should play it. And they just released we were going to watch the video, but we got bigger things to watch. But they just released, it's out now, a brand new update that introduces a tower mode where keep playing, going through it. They added new abilities, which is fucking awesome. And the trailer shows the guy almost like a machine gun out of his fingers. So brand new abilities, new enemies, new missions, new locations, new collectibles. So they added like a chunk of content to it, which I did not expect. So if I haven't sold it to you, it's on Game Pass. Go check it out. So anyway, I guess for me, I can say I want to play because I want to try out that update. So Everspace 2, I picked up in early access when it came out, and I thought it was really cool. But I was like, if this game's not finished, I kind of want to wait till it's finished. So I might return to this, but I already own it. So I won't be picking it up, but I might play it again. And then Meteor Maker, we are playing for Plus Club. I've actually played it. We won't talk about that until the end of the month. But spoiler alert, I will likely be picking this up for PC. So I just haven't done it yet. Other than that, it's for me kind of a bloated month. It's kind of crazy to see this many names on here and like 3 games I for sure want to pick up. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, anything else you want to add?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right, let us know in the comments what games are you guys picking up? What are you most excited for? What games are you kind of curious about? And what games are you 100% not picking up? And is there something that was not on this list that you want to mention? Maybe some indie game or something? Let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. All right, let's jump into what we've been playing. It's been like 11 days, so I'm sure we've played something, even though not as much as you think, because we both have not been playing a whole lot lately, which is weird. So how about you start us off with what games you've been playing?
Okay, we'll get the easy one out of the way. I've been popping in occasionally, do my dailies in Final Fantasy 14. I've been helping the Aloprates out with their need to make a...
What?
They're like little bunny moon people.
Damn.
They're adorable. Their little dance floor area or whatever. I don't know if that's actually what you're working on. I've been... real bad about paying attention to the story for it, but they're crafting dailies, so I hop on, I do those, couple of, other dailies, get a couple levels here and there. I've not been playing very hardcore though. It's kind of waiting for like a major content update to come out for the game. Problem with being caught up in an MMO. So
yeah, that's fair.
Let's see. I said last time, but I still, within the last 2 weeks, I've played Star Ocean some more. I think, big question mark there, that I'm almost done with the game. I just haven't found I've had the time to play it. It's a single player game, obviously, but I can't play RPGs when I'm like tired because I don't want to like miss out on anything because I'm just not awake enough for it. So
yep.
I've been kind of holding off on that, but I have been having fun with that game. I don't think it's for everyone, but
I feel like there's a strong case for that in most JRPGs.
yeah, it's not like an amazing game.
Yeah.
So I just have to throw that out there. It's like if you are just a fan of JRPGs or Star Ocean, like
there is a specific type of person that I'll like run into, specifically on like TikTok, that like if they're into one JRPG, they're into all JRPGs. Yeah. So like there are people out there who will play them all, even if like the quality's not the best. I can kind of consider myself that and you that because we will play like JRPGs that aren't like the highest caliber.
Oh yeah, no. Well, my big thing with a lot of them is they usually have interesting systems in them that I enjoy. Yeah. I do realize we are in a time right now where people want just everything to be an action game.
Yep.
And so
Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. And this is action-y. You just have points you spend, but you can swing as fast as you can push the button. You just, if you run out of points, you don't swing anymore. You have to it's like stamina almost. But it recharges the moment you stop, engaging in combat for a second. You can also just switch characters and start swinging with them instead. So, yeah. So I've been going through that. The game is interesting too because it has like pretty decent little skill tree you can go through, and then the moves can also be leveled independently, so you have a use for EXP after you filled out the tree all the way. There is a crafting system which I find a little tedious because you can't like mass create. You can only do one at a time, and it's menu start, menu start, menu start for one at a time, and I'm like, just give me a craft all button.
Yeah, that's rough.
So a little bit of an oversight, I'd say, in that regard. Fortunately, crafting is like, it does make your life easier if you're patient enough to craft something crazy, but it's optional. You can play the game without it. So some people might disagree with that who play the game, but I've barely crafted in the game and I'm doing just fine. So
there's a lot of games that like crafting is kind of like just an option they can do, and sometimes like there's plenty of games I play that I don't even have to craft in. But then of course there's games, I guess the extreme example would be like Monster Hunter, where like you have to craft.
That is the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the extreme example. You're gonna have to. You're not. I mean, but yeah, it's amazing how many games I'll play that's like you can craft stuff. I'm like, should I?
Well, and you can craft a lot of stuff, and you can make some busted stuff, but I'm not patient enough to do it. I'm just trying to get through the game. So, story is interesting. Starts off really slow, which is kind of typical, to be honest. But it has gotten interesting, which I appreciate. If you're familiar with Star Ocean at all, usually it takes place in fantasy and sci-fi settings, and not at the same time. I am in the sci-fi portion of the game at this point. It starts off in the fantasy part of the game. So, yeah, enjoying it. I'd like to beat it so I can move on to another game I've purchased and not played, like Ghostwire or what's the one with the Russian theme or whatever.
Oh, Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart.
Well, Atomic Heart is like, I guess, like a 30-hour game. Ghostwire you can beat in like 10.
Yeah. Well, and then I have Valkyrie, Elysium or whatever it's called that I bought and I haven't played. So I have a ton of games that I need to get to and I just haven't.
Yeah, and that one looked pretty cool too. I don't remember one of the two, either Star Ocean or the Valkyrie game. I thought one of those looked better than the other. I feel like it's the Valkyrie one, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
because the Star Ocean has like the kind of strange character models and had like the weird jetpack thing.
Yeah.
So I spammed the shit out of the jetpack.
Yeah, I saw you playing it.
But yeah, so I'd like to get I picked them up because I was just thrilled that Square was pumping out a bunch of these games. I wanted to make sure to...
Yeah, it reminds me of the old days.
Yeah, to let them know, like, there's interest, at least from me. I can only do so much, obviously. So, and I liked Harvestella quite a bit. As much as I think the gameplay is going to be a turn off for people, the rest of the game is great. So
I still really want to play that game, but it's like I can't... I have like a tier of like priorities, and it's like not even in my top 10. So like I gotta find like a
good story. So
it just looked cool.
Yeah,
looked like a cool game.
I also picked up Rune Factory 5 because I've always wanted to play one of those games.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It's just sitting on my PC. So, anyways, played Star Ocean. So, other than that, I've been playing recently a crap ton of last Epoch.
Before we get into that, I'm like really upset that you bought that game and you were playing it without me asking you to do it, because I almost suggested it be our game of the month for this month. But I was like, I don't want to make him buy some game that fucking he doesn't own. And then like after we did that, like 2 days after, you bought last Epoch and then you've just been playing it.
I beat it.
Yeah, and like and like Sarah's cracking out on it. Josh just hit level 50.
Oh, nice.
I've been in the 50s. I stopped playing to wait for you guys. Now you guys passed me. We'll talk about it, obviously. But I'm like, that should have been game of the month. I didn't know you were gonna like want to play that game. But anyway, game of the month, by the way, is Wild Hearts.
Yes.
So make sure to play that. We'll talk about the end of the month.
So yeah, I've been playing a lot of last Epoch. It is in beta, so there's some jank that happens, especially in the multiplayer, because I believe that is fairly new.
Which is like brand fucking new. The most recent build of the game is the multiplayer beta. So I think it actually plays good for them adding it.
Considering it's not a fully released game and they took a single player game and threw some multiplayer on it.
It works.
It works.
There's weird issues though.
Yeah, especially rubber banding. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That being said, it's, for if you don't know, it's an ARPG, similar to like Path of Exile, Diablo, Titan Quest, etc. I think it takes a lot of ideas from all of its predecessors, but has its own spin to it. and I do think it leans more heavily towards Path of Exile than any other game. Especially looking at some of the coming soon features to it, they're definitely looking at the long term with the game. They want to make it seems like they want to make like a seasonal game like Path of Exile eventually out of it. So though it is a pay to access game,
premium,
yeah,
it's a premium game, which I'm happy about because you buy it, you got it. I think it's a really interesting mix of, it is Path of Exile, but for me it's very similar to Grim Dawn and Titan Quest, which are made by the same people. Not as the person who makes this, the devs that make this, but Titan Quest and Grim Dawn made by the same devs. Different name, but anyway, it has a very similar skill tree that you go through. It's definitely an amalgamation of a lot of things. Yeah. But the thing that I think, it's funny because like I started playing this a lot like right after, I've also played this recently, so that's why I'm talking about it. I played this like right after, a little bit before and right after the Diablo 4 beta, and Diablo 4 made me appreciate this game more because Diablo 4 is like a really high quality, nice looking isometric RPG.
I would certainly hope so.
But it's very good looking. I was looking, I'm like, this is a really gorgeous looking game. I wish they all looked this good. But the depth in character building was not interesting to me. It was very expected. Whereas this game doesn't look as good, but it has this like depth in skill building for your character. Then you got subclasses, and then you get to pick up to 5 individual abilities that you have, and they all have their own skill trees. So like you can start really fine tuning and dialing in your character without being overcomplicated like Path of Exile. And I think that's the biggest the biggest attraction to Last Epoch for me is the character creation, which is my favorite part of it. Anyway, that was quite the derail.
No, that's fine. I actually think in its current state, it has the right amount of complexity.
Yeah.
Because I still have things to work towards in the end game, which it does already have, which is nice. It's very simplistic, but if you play these games to kill stuff and get loot, it's enough. So you basically, without, I don't think it's a spoiler. No. There are islands, and you do X amount of objectives and you can unlock more of these islands, and then you keep doing that. And these islands have modifiers like enemies do 100% crit. However, you get 14% extra drop chance and 10% extra EXP. And when you're done with it, there's a guarantee to get a rare amulet, type thing. And so you clear the objectives in that mission, and as you do enough of these, you fill this bar up, and that bar will have 3 quests that you do to fix that timeline, and then you're allowed to unlock an island or another timeline. So and then you can revisit. You also get passive buffs for finishing them, so which is nice. So now I have a 44% increase to loot now. So
just in there or in the game in general?
I have not tested it yet, but at the very least there.
Okay, well, I mean, that's cool.
So I think it's for everything though.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, something to work towards, which is great. And I have not unlocked. There's a feature that unlocks later, which is like an advanced crafting system, and I don't have that yet. So where you can take like unique items and purple items, which is the highest craftable rarity, and you can combine them to make red items. So I don't have that yet, but and then speaking of being able to fine tune, I play a sorcerer. Which is one of the 3 advanced classes, 2 that are available currently for the mage. And
that is the tricky thing. This game is still in early access. They just added multiplayer on a single player game, like you said. They've been working on it for a long time. And I'm playing a rogue, essentially, and the 3rd subclass is not available yet, which is Falconer, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
it'd be like Rune Caster or something like that for the mage.
So it's interesting that there's subclasses that aren't even in the game yet, but still plenty to do in the game.
Yeah, and I focused really heavily on like lightning. So like there are some natural lightning moves, but then there's other moves that were something else, and within that skill tree I changed the element over to lightning. and then I just amplify that with spell damage up, lightning damage up, etc., etc. So that's been kind of my goal. It's been fun. I like it. And loot feels good. You get just enough of it to constantly be sifting through it, but you're not upgrading constantly like you do in Torchlight, where you don't even get to save or anything. So I think it's a good balance so far.
Yeah, it's weird. I kind of mentioned that as well. Like there's some isometric RPGs where it feels like I'm not getting enough loot, so it's kind of like gets kind of boring. And then there's the lesson I learned that there is such a thing as too much loot, which was in Torchlight 2. It's a valuable lesson I'll never forget, where I was getting new, exciting loot so fast that I didn't get to enjoy the loot I had. So I appreciate their emphasis on, making sure there's plenty of stuff to get, but I was constantly like, every 2 levels, switching out my gear constantly. I'm like, I can't even settle into my gear and then get excited for the new thing. I'm just constantly moving. And so this game has a shitload of gear drops you at all times, and you can filter out stuff if you want. But I stopped picking up certain colors already. But
I added a filter to my loot thing.
Yeah. But it gives you a lot. But the thing I really like about a lot of the loot it gives you is it's like what I would call adjacent loot, where like it's constantly giving me loot that is, I guess if you were to say like if it had like a power level or something, it'd be like on par with what I have, but the stats are just different.
Substats,
So if you want to start like fine tuning your build into something, it gives you those options, and it gives you a lot of those options to fine tune, unless you're getting shit drops. But so it gives you a lot of loot, a lot of stuff to sell, a lot of stuff to break down. But when you are switching out your gear, it's more methodical. You're thinking about it more than you're just going like, well, that's obviously better. I'm just going to keep upgrading. Which I appreciate. It's just a little more mentally involved, which I think is a trap some isometric RPGs run into, of kind of starting to feel like automation, like I'm just kind of clicking forward and killing everything nonstop. And this game will have that eventually, but
for sure.
But I appreciate that about this.
Yeah. I honestly, my only complaint of the game, like actual complaint, is I think the ground markers are faint sometimes. I think they need to be a little brighter. Some of them are really good, and like they're not like so bright that they're distracting, but they're like, they're really easy to see, and they give you just enough time that if you don't make a split second decision, you're probably gonna get hit by a boss I fought recently. For example, these little like white boxes, and that would come out like line attacks, and it would like pulse towards it as if that's the direction it's going. And then wind thing would go out, and it was enough to almost kill me in one hit. So if I didn't like move the moment it was on me, it was gonna hit me. So versus some bosses will have ones that are this really, and orange is typical in a lot of games for hit markers, but it'll be so faint that if I'm not like looking out for it, I'll miss it completely. So I just think it needs a little tweaking, but
or at least an option in the options that like
to brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, or give it some more defined visuals.
Yeah, and I can't blame my vision because these things are brand new on my face. I see just fine right now. So,
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, but I mean that's my only complaint. A lot of times, I'll just pop a shield and eat half the attacks anyway. So, but yeah, having a lot of fun with that. I would like to play it more. I do need to not crack out too much, though, or I won't play other games. So that is always a challenge with loot games.
Yeah, I was playing it pretty regularly there for a little bit. So I was trying to catch up to Sarah because she was cracking out on it, and then Josh was catching up at that time. You were catching up, and so I was like, I just won't touch it. And then Chris fucking just flew by. I was like, holy shit, okay, you guys are really playing that. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I'm like 53 or something. So once I hop back in, it sounds like I'm about to beat the game because you beat it. You said at like the end of the 50s. So, so you're a sorcerer. Yep. You're speccing into lightning stuff. What level are you?
64, 65.
60, okay.
It slows way down.
Oh, I already noticed in the 50s.
I was gonna say in the 50s, it slows way down.
Yeah,
so.
that's where I first
and the
started
level cap's
noticing
100. So
yep. So which is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Grind. So.
Then my archer is like 24, 25, and then I have a I don't know what they're going to be at. Probably Beastmaster. That's just above 10 now, I think. So.
I had a couple characters, alternate characters that were like in the teens, but I deleted them all because I wasn't super in love with them yet, and I was just all in on wanting to work on my rogue. So I'll just recreate some characters when I'm ready to do that. But yeah, my rogue is my subclass I picked was Blade Dancer. So I do a lot of blade stuff. I've spec'd mostly into poison, bleed type things.
You have stun.
A lot of crits. So you'll watch somebody's health bar, take a couple hits, and then disappear. So once the crit hits, it typically murders anything. I am at that point that I get in every single isometric ARPG where I'm just boosting DPS, 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 and then my character's just dying too quickly. I'm like, okay, hold on, I gotta start working on survivability here now. And then once I get the survivability up, which I'm speccing right now into a lot of vampire type stuff to just siphon health, I'll start drilling back into DPS.
We got to a point where Chris's character didn't have enough armor to survive hits, and we were fighting. I'm not gonna name the boss, but it's a pretty hard fight. It would two-shot me, but if it looked at Chris died.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I'm almost there right now with my character.
Yeah, so I managed to end up soloing it after learning its pattern enough, but at that point he was like, I need armor. I was like, yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm like I said, 50, 52, 53, 54-ish. So,
yeah.
And ready to beat the game. I'd like to try out the end game. It sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's mindless, but in a good way.
Yeah.
So
as long as there's something to gain from it, I'll like it. If it just feels like I'm wasting my time, it'd be a quick way for me to either start a new character or jump to a different game.
I mean, you're sculpting your own adventure for the end game. So like, you get paths to take, and you go, do I want to go that way and get an amulet, or I want to go get runes that way, or idols down there, or do I want an arena key, stuff like that. So, which
it does sound like Path of Exile. Also reminds me of Godfall. And say what you will about Godfall, I think the end game of Godfall is actually a really fun multiplayer roguelite. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit too. But I haven't played it, so I don't know. But it sounds pretty cool.
I also didn't mention earlier when I was talking about the game. Your equipment, you have your basic stuff you would expect from a game, and then there's a separate section for idols, which are just basically you play Tetris with stats. There's a grid, things fit in grid or they don't, and you try to fill it up with as many stats as you can. They can be a 1x1, they can be a 1x2 or 2x1, all the way up to some of them are like 4x1, some are 2x2, and they have to fit in this like plus shaped grid with a dead space in the middle you can't use. So and you haven't done anything with that. Really fine tune your stats by getting these idols. So like I'll have one that's like lightning damage 18% and minion damage, which I don't have minions, but it's also on there. I'm like, well, I want the 18% lightning damage, so I put it in that spot. And then I'll find another one and be like lightning 16%, but crit chance 10. I'm like, okay, I'll take the hit, put that in there instead, and it's just a whole nother thing for stats.
Yeah, and that's just another layer of like what I was saying earlier about like dialing in your build. Like I really like that. So it makes build complexity more interesting. So
yeah, huge recommend. It is in beta, so if you don't like buying games that aren't finished yet, wait. But it plays pretty good.
I think it's in a good place right now to start if you want to hop in now. I think it's much better than when I first picked it up. When I first picked it up, they were only just talking about that they would like to do multiplayer, but they hadn't started working on it. And then for like easily over a year, they were like, it's in development, we're working on it. So when it finally came out, yeah, especially when they didn't have multiplayer at all, even remotely worked on for it. So
well, and if you're a story person, the story doesn't end. You literally, without them directly just saying to be continued, you get a to be continued, like, to the story basically. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think it's like $30 too. So
yeah, it's only $30.
Price. Yeah,
especially for the amount of time you're gonna be able to put into it. Like that's really great, and they might raise the price when they fully release it too. So
true. Yeah.
Be a good time to buy in.
That's what I've been playing.
All right. Well, like I said, I also played Last Epoch recently. Been really enjoying it. I won't reiterate a lot of stuff I said, but I would recommend it to you guys if you're looking for that isometric ARPG experience and maybe you haven't played this. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's worth playing, especially maybe if you're somebody who's like, I'm waiting for Diablo 4. I want to play a game like that. Check out Last Epoch. It's a lot of fun. So it's got a really cool systems involved with it. It's not the most revolutionary visually, but it makes up for it in its character building. So definitely check it out. A couple confirmations, but I can't talk about them. I have played Meet Your Maker on PS5.
I should just throw out I played all the Plus games.
You played all of them?
I played all of them.
Okay.
So
played Meet Your Maker, and I think I deleted it because I plan on playing this more on PC, but I got enough of an idea of how it plays on console to talk about it, so I'm ready for that. I also played Tales of Iron. I have pretty nuanced opinion on that, so stay tuned for Plus Club when we talk about that as well, but I can't talk about that now. Played Last Epoch, already talked about that. Mostly been playing Hunt Showdown. I don't really have a whole lot to report there outside of I have had a couple play sessions where I've had Josh and Cody on with me, and those were decent to not so great matches, but we made it up later. So yeah, that game is unforgiving if you're not on top of your shit. So but I love it. I like even not having a good game just because I enjoy the thrill of shootouts in that game. Yeah, so mostly been playing Hunt Showdown. That's my addiction right now, which kind of sucks because it doesn't suck for me, but it kind of sucks for the amount of games I would like to be playing right now. Let's see. Been doing some VR lately. I played After the Fall with Sarah, which was really neat. It's my first time playing a VR game with somebody that I know. If you don't know, After the Fall is a up to 4 player cooperative Left 4 Dead / Killing Floor style game where you go to levels, you have to get through it. There's safe rooms in between, so it's definitely Left 4 Dead-esque, but it's VR, so you can get creative with the way you're shooting. You can dual wield. There's two-handed guns, shotguns, rifles, stuff like that. And as you play through these levels, you accrue a currency and you unlock weapons that you can upgrade and stuff like that. So it has stuff to progress towards. Haven't gotten super deep into it, but we played it together and that was pretty cool. I was playing on my Vive. She was playing on PSVR and seemed to have worked fine. She was using the PlayStation 1s, which are PS3 technology on a PS5, so that's weird. But they seem to work decently. I went up there and tried it out. I was able to shoot things just fine, but it's weird because the wands don't have analog sticks. So you have to press these big fat buttons on them to walk forward. Then this little button, I think it's the circle button, to walk backwards. And there's another button that quick turns you around if you need that. And then the two top buttons, which is I think triangle and square, something like that, will turn your character. So not ideal, especially for modern day VR.
That's some Nintendo 64 crap going on there.
It's not ideal for modern VR gaming, but I still give them credit that they even figured out how to do it with PS3 tech.
Yeah.
Really kind of crazy that they're able to do that. But anyway, After the Fall is cool. You should pick it up. I'd love to play with both you guys. Yeah, it's fun. I've been having fun with it. Shooting stuff in VR is always a lot of fun, as long as it's done well enough, and most people do. So yeah, I finally picked up Beat Saber. It's for the longest time the VR game that people were talking about, just because it's pretty straightforward. Things come at you, hit them with your sabers to songs. I wanted to get a game that I could do some get some constant motion with, get some cardio in with it, and it does a pretty good job. I think I'm at hard difficulty so far. I've tried a little bit in the next difficulty, but it's a little too much for me right now as somebody who just started playing. But that game's a lot of fun. I get why people liked it or like it now, but I know when it came out, that was one of the VR games, especially on Oculus, people would talk about. It's got some decent music, which is surprising. It's all electronica for the most part. not a whole lot of pop songs, which I really appreciate. And it's funny because like with all VR games, you look at the concept, you're like, hey, you hit the things with the blades or whatever, and to the beat. But having two eyes and having that depth, two things coming at you, makes hitting them so much more natural feeling. Like in real life, if something comes at you, you're more reactive because you can see it from multiple viewpoints. Same thing with this. So I really enjoy just the experience. It's very satisfying to get those perfect cuts in time, especially when you're playing on hard or higher and it's starting to go faster and you feel like you're just chopping stuff up. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Apparently that's multiplayer. You can make an avatar, so I don't know how that works. I don't know if you're just like standing next to each other cutting things up, or if there's competitive stuff. But at the very least, if you had a friend who's also trying to get active and you could just play together, that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, Beat Saber. Playing Beat Saber. Trying to play it kind of regularly because we've mentioned on Tastecast before, but we've been going to the gym 3 days a week and trying to get them gains. But in between that, I kind of wanted to play like Beat Saber in between days where I'm doing like weight training, just to get some like, cardio in without, working the muscles, I guess, too much. But yeah, it's been fun and also helpful to stay active. And then last game on my list is Demonologist. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but it's essentially a different take on Phasmophobia from somebody else. It's whoever the dev is. I didn't pay attention, but it's a better looking game graphically than Phasmophobia, but it lacks the dynamic characteristics of what Phasmophobia offers and how random it can be, and it doesn't have the content or the character of Phasmophobia. So in this, obviously the shtick is you and some other players go in and investigate what would be a ghost in Phasmophobia. It's like a demon in this. It's got like 3 or 4 maps, so it's very early in its development. You use similar tools than in Phasmophobia, like an EMF, spirit box, stuff like that. They're very different looking. They're like in Phasmophobia, it's like real life tools that nerds use in real life to find ghosts. In this, like there's like a board you have with like a live cockroach stuck in a tube that you walk around with. I think it's supposed to be like more demon type stuff, but like I'm like, why don't you use the same tools? But they're trying to have their own identity, so I get it. It's cool because there's some environmental things that happen. Like I walked by a painting and its eyes moved at one point, so that's kind of creepy. There's like I don't know if it's like a mannequin or something in one room, and like I never saw it, but in the trailer it showed the thing come alive for a second. So there's a lot of like these environmental things that'll happen that the Phasmophobia doesn't have, even though in Phasmophobia everything has physics, so books will fly off shelves and stuff, and it's more dynamic. It's less predictable. In this, I was like, the first couple times you see one of these things do that, you're going to expect it later, the same exact thing. So it almost feels like you're going through like a fun house, like an attraction more than a dynamic game that's going to be replayable. And then also it has hunts, the same as in Phasmophobia, where like, the ghost or demon will get to a point where it'll start going after you and you have to evade it. And in Phasmophobia, you got to like get the fuck out of the house or like hide in a closet, not talk. There's like a lot of tension to it. When I was playing with these randos, they were just like, oh, I think it's going to hunt soon. And all of a sudden, like, I don't even know how they knew or not. Nothing changed for me visually, but like, it's hunting. And they all started just running down the hall. And we're all just running willy-nilly. Everybody's just running around the house going nuts. It's like fucking Scooby-Doo. And then they're like, oh, the hunt's over. And I'm like looking around and everyone's still alive. I'm like, what happened? Like in Phasmophobia, we'd be dead if we're just running around the house like that. So that could use some work. But yeah, it's a good start. I'm glad it's offering competition to Phasmophobia. But I honestly think Phasmophobia, I know like, it got popular there for a second and plenty of people still play it, but like I honestly think Phasmophobia did something that is so difficult to do so easily from the get-go and is still doing. It made multiplayer horror work. It's kind of a genius idea that someone came up with. And so like the bar set really high. And so when I see somebody else attempt it, I appreciate it and I hope they make it better, but they have a long way to go to even make it like comparable for me. I know I've only talked about Phasmophobia and me talking about Demonologist, but it's so blatantly trying to be like Phasmophobia and really come short in a lot of ways, that I hope it gets better, because the visual aesthetic I think is cool. It's got a completely different look to it. It just doesn't have systems that are as interesting as Phasmophobia. And there's other games too that have tried to do similar stuff as Phasmophobia. There's one, I forgot what it's called, Ghost Exorcist or something like that. I have it as well. Me and Josh were playing it, and that game's interesting because it's like similar to Phasmophobia in like you go to a house and you try to identify the ghost. But the thing that makes that game really different than Phasmophobia is once you identify what the ghost is, you have all these tools to exorcise it, and so you have to go back in the house and try and combat it by placing certain things in certain rooms and reading certain incantations and all this stuff to get rid of the ghost. And that's kind of a cool thing they added to the genre in their own right. But yeah, this Demonologist game, I think the thing they're really trying to bring to it is the environmental scares, and those need to be a little more random and dynamic and less predictable, because that's like a jump scare in a movie. It's going to get you the first time, but after that, you know it's coming.
Right.
So it loses its value very quickly. But yeah, otherwise it's a good start. Hopefully it gets better. And I think that's all I've been playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else?
I played Demio in VR.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, it's a board game, basically up to 4 player. And
you pick it up.
Don't have 4 players, you can control multiple characters. You pick a class, which is represented as a token on the board, and you have 2 movement turns or 2 action turns, which you can use for movement or attack. And you have cards which dictate what attacks and stuff you have for those characters, and you go through a map / in a campaign, and you try to find the key and escape. That's pretty much the game. Played by myself with all 4 characters. It was harder than I expected, which is a good thing. I would hate to just kind of fly through the game, but I definitely think it would be better with multiple people, only because then the situations become more dynamic, versus like I was able to kind of like cheese some of the fights because I could just hole up a certain way, and I was controlling all 4, so there was no chance of randomness happening. So pretty cool. I was running into some weird camera glitchiness, and I only played it once, so I don't know if that was just my current anyone who's played VR knows that when you set up stuff, sometimes it's a little wonky and you have to like reset it up, and I just didn't. So my camera would like pop every once in a while, so it looked like I was jumping in place, and I was like, ooh, that's making me feel kind of gross. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that was a one-time deal, because if that happens a lot in the PSVR 2 version of it, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play it. So we'll see how it goes, but it's fun. I would like to play multiplayer.
Yeah, I just got paid. I could pick it up. The only thing that sucks about that, I wish there's either a way to play it without VR for people.
Yeah.
Because you can play it, I can play it, but it's not on PSVR. And that's like, we in the house, we have a PSVR 2, we got the Vive, and then we have 2 PSVRs. So if it worked on PSVR, that'd be great, because then we could get at least 3 people playing it.
Only.
Yeah. But I was curious about it, and it has crossplay, and I want to buy more crossplay VR games, so I'll probably pick it up. How much is it?
I think it's 30.
30? Okay,
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It might be 25. I can't remember. So
Yeah, it's look cool.
most of the VR games outside of a handful on PSVR 2 at least are $25 or $30. So, which I think is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the VR prices have come down to like $30, which is a good like average, because for a while there, like an hour-long tops experience would be like $60,
Yeah,
and I would pay for it
was the
because
Wild West.
because less people were buying games. They got to make their money to make it even make sense to develop these games, and I was happy to support them.
Yeah.
But now that it's become, more accessible,
Yeah.
the prices have come down, which is nice to see as well. Because yeah, brand new games, $30. I feel like that's where VR games should be if enough people are there to buy them, because a lot of them are just kind of like fun little experiences. It came out recently. I made a TikTok about it. That the PSVR 2 isn't selling as well as Sony wanted it to. And I kind of went over a couple things I'd like to see them do. Mainly, I'd like to see PC support. It's been interesting because a lot of people have been very vocal about why they think that is. And a lot of people are vocal about how they don't want to buy it because of multiple reasons. And that's been a really interesting conversation. But and we talk about that if you want. But it's also interesting, too, because in the conversation of saying that it didn't track as well as Sony wanted it to do, it's also outpacing the sales of the PSVR in the same time frame. So it's selling better than the PSVR did. So the story is interesting because Sony wanted to sell more, right? But it's still doing better than what they did before. So at first it's like, that's kind of dire. Hopefully they support this thing if it didn't sell well. But if it's selling better than their last thing and they supported that, that's still a success for them.
Yeah.
Because it's a tall ask, because VR is not the must-have for plenty of people, and then also the economy is kind of shit. So like a lot of people are not going to prioritize buying additional hardware for a console they may or may not have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you already have a PS5, I think it's worth picking up. I have one, as I've brought up, and I quite enjoy it. I think it is one of the best headsets I've put on my head.
Yeah.
But I think it also depends on your level of like curiosity with VR. I think for a lot of people, they're probably going to be okay with like an Oculus. I have my own personal issues with that, but
yeah,
I do think the price to access is great, and I know they make a decent piece of hardware. It's the ownership I have a problem with, so that's why I won't get it. But that being said, $600 for, and we'll include the price, so $1,100, right? If you don't have any of it, most of the headsets I'm looking at anyways are $1,000 or higher. So like
for the headset, not the PC.
It depends on how you look at it, right? So
yeah,
I would prefer, if I'm going to buy a PC headset, I'm going to buy a Vive or an Index. I'm not going to buy an Oculus. So PSVR was cheaper for me in that regard.
Especially since you already have the PS5 as well. So if you're trying to get into VR and you already have the PS5, it's a great buy-in price point.
Yeah. That being said, the setup is so easy, it's ridiculous.
It's the one thing I'm kind of jealous of is that you just plug one cord in.
It literally just asks you a couple questions and then you're playing. So
even when I set up the PSVR upstairs, it's easier than the Vive, but it's still annoying. So like I was like, fuck, dude, I'm so happy that VR is going in the direction of like wireless and one USB-C.
Yeah, that's great. I like it a lot. And the controllers are definitely meant for Japanese hands, but they're still pretty good. So they're just really, really tiny joysticks and buttons on that thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do get used to it when I used it.
Yeah.
But
it's great. I like the put your hand inside, thing.
That's the standard now. That's the one thing that feels like slightly outdated with the Vive is like you're using essentially a hybrid of a controller / wand, and it works great. It does everything. It's got the clickies on the side, so you can still grip stuff. But at the time I was using that, they had just started using those inside the controller things because they're still playing around with gloves back then. And then they found out that you could get like a more relaxed fist, placement with the more standard controllers now. Now Oculus does it, PSVR does that, and the new Vive has those too. So
I don't know what the Index has.
I think it has something similar to that.
I think so. Yeah. So like any tech, the standard, has to be found. So
yeah, exactly. It's just like all first-person shooters. If you pick up a first-person shooter on a controller, it's likely going to be like circle to crouch, X to jump, R2 is going to be shoot, right analog's likely going to be some kind of melee.
Whatnot, C left and C right with forward and back on the joystick.
Yeah, exactly. You play some of those early shooters on console, and it's just like, whoa, this is before the standard happened.
Yeah.
I'll even play a game now. I don't play much shooters on console, but every once in a while I'll run into one with some weird controls. I'm like, you guys are going crazy. What are you doing here? So yeah, similar thing here with VR in general. We're still in that phase where we're trying to find what works best, and it does seem like they've come down to at least a standard for how controllers should be. So
yeah.
Yep. All right, Demio. I'll have to pick it up. You should pick up after the fall, because I like to play more VR games with people that I know.
For sure.
Not random people. Although that's the most fun scenarios. It's funny, after the fall, I assume some people just have their controllers on the floor because their character will just be squatted on the ground with their arms behind their back, just staring into the floor. And I'll walk up to them, and most of the time they don't move, but sometimes they'll be like this, and then their head will go and just look at me, and I just like wave at them, and then they go. And I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like anytime in No Man's Sky and my arms are like this. I was running around.
Yeah. And I love that it's putting a body to the hands that it's tracking and the head. But you see some really weird people running by with their arms like in their body or whatever, or like a lot of times it like compensates for your height by bending your knees. So sometimes people are running by with their hands out like this and look like some kind of like Scooby-Doo chase scene running by. It's pretty funny.
For sure.
Or like every time I play any social game in VR, it's always like someone with like a really thick accent that's like almost hard to understand, and they're always very in my face, like, oh hey, blah blah blah, like right in my face. I'm like, okay dude, like it's funny, but I'm like, this isn't even, we're not even playing a game. They're just like, I can talk to somebody.
I mean, for some people that might be all the socializing they're getting. So
fuck, maybe this is the best socializing they're gonna get too, is talking to me. Anything else?
no.
All right, well, let us know in the comments, what games have you guys been playing? What games are you planning on playing? What games would you recommend us play? And yeah, let me know everything you think in the comments below when it comes to games you've been playing and VR, since we talked about that a little bit. And yeah. All right, so we got some videos to watch. The first video up is, let me switch over to it, Minecraft, not Minecraft. That's a whole other thing. Minecraft Legends, the final preview. Now, this is kind of topical because apparently this is coming out. I didn't realize it was coming out that quick. This is going to give us some insights on what IGN thinks about it, but it'll give us some information because we're both kind of interested in this, but I don't know a whole lot about it. You probably don't either, so we'll get something from it. So before we watch this, do you want to reiterate that you're interested in it, or you got more to say?
No.
All right, let's just watch it and then we'll talk about it afterwards. This is Minecraft, and not Minecraft, Legends, the final preview in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Huh.
When I think of Minecraft, I think of creativity, peace, and adventure. Minecraft Legends' opening campaign scene made me feel as though my past accomplishments and care for the franchise were being rewarded by trusting me with a new and important challenge: save the overworld from the greed of the piglins. Minecraft Legends is the 4th Minecraft spin-off game, and after getting an hour with its campaign and about an hour with its PvP multiplayer, it's already building to be my favorite of the bunch.
It's not an RTS. That's what it says.
Minecraft Legends is an action strategy game, which, yes, is different from a real-time strategy, though only in a few critical ways. Instead of taking a top-down, omnipotent view of the world, your character leads mobs into battle with a sword in hand. Dennis Rees, executive producer at Mojang, told IGN that one of the reasons the studio didn't want to make a traditional RTS is because of the challenges they present when putting them on console. The action strategy interpretation cuts out some of the impersonal aspects of real-time strategy and makes events and threats more focused. Instead of commanding waves of soldiers or creatures from above, you're using music to direct a mix of mobs to attack piglin towers or defend an otherwise defenseless village. First, you'll start with 2 kinds of golems, and then as the campaign progresses, you'll find
adorable.
allies in the iconic creeper and other formerly hostile mobs. Directions to the mobs are rather simple. Move here, follow, but become more complex steadily over time. Command one set of units following to move or focus on a target.
Yeah,
I played exclusively on an Xbox controller. It did take me a fair bit of time to get used to all the commands, and I can't say I came away from my hour with the campaign having fully mastered them. I think the campaign still does a good job of peppering in new layers of lessons during the early tutorial missions. I really only felt the lack of mastery because of the multiplayer session that came later, but more on that in a moment. It's difficult to say whether the on-the-ground perspective is more helpful than a wider view after only an hour of the campaign, but it did make my personal affection for units stronger. That being said, it's a little disappointing I can't cheer on my units or do more with our friendship other than sending them off into battle and reviving them again and again at their spawn structures. Other than that, as the commander, I could only use my sword to attack piglin enemies, as it doesn't do damage to structures. Then, when it comes to mining or resource collecting, or building defensive structures, the helpful fairy-like creatures called the Alley handle that. It's an interesting distribution of tasks, and I'm curious to see how it changes and expands as the campaign continues.
Yeah.
We didn't prepare the creatures of our world for this day, but we believe you can.
That's why we called upon you. If there is any hope, it's you.
The tutorial mission early on was short and straightforward, but served as a great introduction to the hosts. Each gave me a boon to assist in my quest to defeat the piglin invaders and defend the overworld. I like them. They serve as just enough context for the story and as
clean,
fun
and the
encouraging
UI
guides,
looks like
but
it
also give me enough
functions
space to still feel like the
smooth.
story is my own. Something I look for in Minecraft. The tutorial was genuinely essential and expanded well into that first hour of play, building on beginner mechanics as the piglin threat increases. Getting upgrades in Minecraft Legends isn't done through earning experience that translates to new levels, but in true Minecraft fashion, instead requires using resources to build towards something new. In this case, building improvement structures that can be made with a large collection of resources and a special stone called prismarine that's earned by defeating the piglins. Improvement structures unlock more units, new buildable defenses, and a slew of other upgrades, like the ability to mine for diamond or other ore. One benefit of Minecraft Legends playing by its own unique action strategy rules is its campaign's patience.
It definitely has
with
like a huge like
battle.
RTS like feel, but it also kind of has like some tower defense vibes
Yeah,
going on with
which
it.
I like.
Explore, I could do so without the village actually being in
When I
peril.
watched the PvP,
peril
it looked
kindly
like
waits.
almost like tower
The
defense
hosts gently provide
meets, like,
reminders of the next
action
critical
RTS.
task, but they won't stop you from indulging in curiosity. I could easily see myself getting lost and seeking out new mounts or finding other secrets. Reese confirmed there are no secret areas, but enticing things like floating treasure chests in the sky that, yes, are intended to be there and are their own sort of challenge to collect. I appreciate that Minecraft Legends preserves Minecraft's exploration and discovery. An hour wasn't nearly enough to make much of a dent into the full scale of the piglin threat or my force's abilities to combat it. Reese said that Minecraft Legends campaign can take anywhere from 18 to 25 hours to complete, depending on how each player approaches the game. I look forward to exploring and unlocking everything in it I can when Minecraft Legends is out April 18th. It's a rare chance to befriend creepers and other creatures I've admired, but had no choice but to slay or run away from previously.
True.
Damn, instantly cooked.
The Minecraft Legends mechanics come to full force in multiplayer. In each match, 2 teams of 4 start from nothing and are challenged to destroy the opposing team's base while protecting their own.
Yeah, we'll
this
not
means
be
starting by
touching
only
this.
being able to gather the basic
Sounds cool to me.
resources of wood and stone, and hopefully, if your team is coordinated, gather prismarine and build enough improvement structures to unlock building the most complex buildings and tools.
What if it had
like the
bot support?
devastating redstone launcher. The multiplayer map mimics the campaigns and having specific biomes where certain resources are guaranteed to be found, and I like it. It's procedurally generated for a new challenge each map. The average length of a multiplayer match is said to be about 20 to 30 minutes, but my team managed to push ours to almost 40. We defeated the opposing team's redstone launchers several times over, but ultimately, our uncoordinated roles and lack of a developer in our ranks spelled our downfall. Minecraft Legends is a game that requires strategy in multiplayer, but unfortunately it has limited tools for it in the build that I played. Reese said that there's no dedicated in-game chat for safety reasons, which I respect, but there's also no way to really call out specific actions or declare player roles either. One reason my team survived so long was because one of my teammates planted his flag at the base and stayed there almost the entire game to work on improvements, building alongside me until I ran off to gather resources with a third player. Our fourth may as well have been AFK, which led to our defeat when trying to fend off.
This guy's really upset he lost.
Roles
He just
like a
keeps
dedicated
making
builder or resource
excuses for
gatherer
why he
are crucial
lost.
to success. Minecraft Legends has a ping system, but as it didn't seem to go much further than me pinging a spot on
does
the
have
map
ping.
or an item in a menu, I wasn't able to convey my strategies without taking off my headset and speaking directly to the people sitting near me. With the time investment in mind, I'm not certain I'd want to play Minecraft Legends online without having at least a friend or two by my side. Still, I did only get to try one especially long match with 3 others as unfamiliar with Minecraft Legends mechanics as myself,
think
so
I'd
I'm
only
hesitant
play
to
that with
entirely
people I
write
know.
off the solo queue for multiplayer just quite yet.
Like if you're playing with people working together, you're gonna dominate people who
Many
are not
Minecraft
in a game
videos,
like that.
Mojang is usually around for updates post-launch, and Minecraft Legends is no exception. Reese said that there will be special challenges called Lost Legends, which serve almost as separate minigames. Successfully completing one could earn you a skin. One Lost Legends example Reese gave me that I didn't play was called Portal Pile, a base defense challenge against waves and waves of piglins that'll be available at launch. Reese said they also want to work with creators to potentially have
piglins
them
in
make their
the
own
game?
Lost Legends
Yeah.
challenges
Okay.
called Myths.
can't
There
be
will
in
also
the
be a Legends
overworld in the
marketplace to
game.
get skins
They're
for
only
player
in Nether,
characters and
but yeah.
mounts.
Oh,
Reese didn't
yeah, I
mention
forgot
if
about
there'd be any
those.
Yeah,
campaign
they turn into
DLC, though.
zombies when they come to the real world.
Yeah.
Always wanted to say that. We present to you.
Gifts.
Even though my long multiplayer match was nowhere near the length of the ones Reese said they had when they were initially tuning multiplayer, the investment in time and potential challenges
done
with
seeing this
team
Minecraft
coordination
stuff, though, 'cause
has
I've
me
been having
skeptical
an
about
itch
my
to play it
chance at
again.
success.
Uh-oh.
I'm not at all skeptical about my interest in the campaign, though. It seems like just the right amount of challenge while still being a pleasant reflection of some of my favorite elements of Minecraft. Sure, it's weird to not stop and collect every resource myself, but with the help of the allies, the charming hosts, and the potential of finally getting closer to the creepers without them exploding, I can say I'm excited to learn. We'll have plenty more coverage of Minecraft Legends when it launches April 18th, and for everything gaming, Minecraft or otherwise,
days.
you're already in the right place, IGN.
Redfall. I was gonna watch something on that too, but I want to really drive that point home of how the AI and the animations are kind of not that great, but whatever. What do you think?
I mean, I think it looks interesting. It's a very creative take on action and strategy kind of blended together. They also have a multiplayer mode, which it doesn't seem like it's necessarily for me, but it does seem. I think it's probably smart because one of the big multiplayer modes for Minecraft is PvP. A lot of people like to do things like bed wars or just anarchy servers in general. So I think it's good to kind of to take that into consideration that people do versus in Minecraft.
I've never done any kind of versus in Minecraft before, but I always thought it'd be kind of neat to have a server just for like all out, like do whatever the hell you want, even if it is like destroying other people's stuff. As long as everybody who's joining it has that same
Wanna be
mentality.
Super hardcore. You can go play on 2B2T, but
What is that?
it's like the anarchy server.
Huh. How many people can be on it?
A lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you're allowed to use hacks, so
I don't want to play that.
it is pure, like literally anarchy server. So
Yeah, I guess that would be good for like if you're trying to get a crazy experience to happen,
Yeah.
especially for content or whatever. But yeah, I would like to do something similar to that without the hacks.
yeah, I know one thing. I have PvP on my server. I just don't obviously play with people I'm trying to fight. But
Yeah,
I do want to, and I'm sure it's not that complicated. I just haven't really looked into it. But I would like to set up an adjacent server that is connected so that you can hop between them. And I want the other one basically as a resource server so that it can be destroyed and no one gives a shit about it. You know, type of thing.
yeah, gotcha.
And then it can just reset every 30 days or so, so that if you want to go get resources without destroying the main survival world, you can.
I did that in Valheim. I had I had like 3 main servers, but or instances, and then I had a separate one for just chopping down forests, essentially.
Yeah, but I'd have to also, because I pay for server hosting, so I'd have to hit them up and figure out how to do it through them. So, but yeah. Anyways, PvP part of the culture of the game, anyways. So it was good for them to even implement something like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks cool. Actually seems like a cool idea. Even if it wasn't Minecraft, I would be interested in the concept. I think it's neat. I'm glad it has a campaign that's like what they said, like 25 hours. It's pretty impressive that you can play it for that long. Something that's kind of, you know, simplistic, I guess. And then having the multiplayer on it has it gives the game legs, because people are going to be playing the campaign, especially people who are not interested in playing the multiplayer. But then maybe you've played that quite a bit and you just want to you know, do something social. You can play it with people. It would be cool to see them add different modes and not just a 4v4 mode, but 4v4 sounds cool. It still adds a social element of playing with 3 other people in a game that, you know, is strategic in the sense that you're putting down towers and running around hitting things, but also like it takes the stress away of like having to perform in like a shooter or like a, you know, melee game with having, you know, like minions and things to set up and things you could be doing that's not just being on the front line. I think that kind of lends itself to a inviting to everyone multiplayer experience that Minecraft should have. Minecraft is obviously for everybody at this point, and it sounds like they are aiming for that mentality with this game as well. Yeah, I think the core gameplay sounds cool, though. I'd like to get my hands on it to see what it feels like. That's the biggest curiosity I have. If it's anything, it's really weird. Like, when I look at this game, I hope it plays as smooth as Wild Hearts. And I know those aren't the same kind of game, but, or Fortnite, I guess. But games where you can be doing one thing and drop things quickly, there's not a lot of them out there, but Wild Hearts does that. I think it does it really well. They almost become like moves that you'd be executing, like, you know, shooting a fireball or something, except for in Wild Hearts,
You're with the katakuri.
You're dropping like katakuri everywhere. And it's super seamless, and it becomes almost like muscle memory, second nature. And so I hope this game, a game where you are placing towers, you got minions with you and stuff, hopefully the UI and the functionality all is super seamless and smooth, because that will be the biggest, I don't want to say hurdle, the biggest criticism I could see having with the game is if it felt clunky, and I'm sure it's not gonna feel clunky, but that's the one thing I'm curious about, you know, how good the game plays in terms of functionality. And the guy was talking about how he had to learn things and complexities of whatever, and, you know, hopefully we'll just get to the point where, like I am in Wild Hearts, just dropping things in the middle of combat. Hopefully it'll feel like that, similar to that. So hoping for that. But yeah, the mode looks cool. The gameplay looks cool. I like that it's not a hard RTS. I love RTSs, but it's hard to get people to play those who aren't RTS fans. And also, like this dude said, they don't translate to console that well. You can do it. Halo Wars worked fine. It was built for console, but it's difficult. So playing around with RTS, playing around with strategy, but also keeping it kind of fun, running around just swinging and having these Pikmin style minions, I think could be a really cool hybrid that I could see other people possibly making something similar if it works out well, because it does seem like a cool thing, and I'm definitely curious about it. I think I might pick this up. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's know in the comments, what did you guys think of Minecraft Legends? Is this Legends? Is it interesting looking? Is it not interesting to you? What do you want from it? What are you hoping for? What do you think about the multiplayer? Are you going to be playing the campaign, the multiplayer? Are you like me? Do you want to see more game modes? And if you do, what game modes would you like to see? I'd like to see at the very least bot support for people like Chevy. I don't know if that would sell you, but, you know, for certain people who just want to play with friends and play that mode without playing against other people, without that competition, it could be cool to see. But I think there's a lot of things you could do with this other than this game mode. And yeah, let me know what you think about in the comments below when it comes to Minecraft Legends. Are you picking it up? Let me know. All right, we got a video to watch. There was a recent state of play. It's 25 minutes of Final Fantasy 16, which sounds like a good time to me, as I am hyped for this game. I think it has the potential of being one of the top 3 best games of 2023. I don't know if it's going to be, but every time I look at it, I'm like, that's a really good looking game. So yeah, I've talked about it before on the channel, but really excited for this game. Everything I've seen on it has just been better and better and better looking, and now we're getting 25 minutes of gameplay. So if I'm not convinced already, this will probably do it. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much going to echo what you said. I did see on Twitter a certain someone who's going to be involved in the main theme of the game. I'm not going to say it just yet in case it's mentioned in this video, and then you can see for yourself, but it was a very surprising choice. They, to give a small hint, did a song for an anime that we've watched recently. So,
interesting. Yeah, I have not seen or heard anything about this state of play, surprisingly. So I'm going in blind, but not really with the game itself because I've already seen plenty on it. So
yeah, in typical Square fashion, they're just in advertising mode right now. So
yeah, they did the same thing with like Final Fantasy VII
and every game ever.
They like hyper focus on one game. Forspoken, they went crazy on. Now we're not hearing about it really, even though there's an expansion coming out.
Which is interesting because the studio's dissolved. So
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they got absorbed. So people didn't lose their job as far as I know, but they went back to assisting on other projects. That was like their moment to see if they could create a game that would sell, and didn't do as well as they were hoping.
I'm glad they're still working.
Same. Yeah. When I heard that it failed, I'm like, oh, fuck, that's not good. But then I heard that they got absorbed back into other projects. So it sounds like they just got a chance to work on something. And for what it's worth, I've heard plenty of people say they really like Forspoken. So it just didn't make the money. So
yeah.
So anyway, like we're saying, Square Enix doing what they do, going all in on this until this releases, and then they will go all in on, I assume, the next Final Fantasy VII.
That or the 14 expansions gets announced this year.
True. So. Yeah, which I'm not even current or up to date on Final Fantasy 14, but I always like to see what they're. Always curious to see what they're doing with it. So, so 25 minutes. We should probably start watching this.
Yes.
All right. This is Final Fantasy 16 State of Play 4K PS5 games. That's quite the title. In 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up,
Hello,
UHP?
everyone. This is Naoki Yoshida, producer of Final Fantasy XVI, and welcome
What's
to
up,
the
Koji?
State of Play. Today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the story, world, and combat system of Final Fantasy XVI, as well as reveal all new information regarding the game's wide variety of RPG elements and
I feel like
support
this game is
systems.
going to be like really good.
We'll be talking you through everything while using never-before-seen gameplay footage.
15 didn't feel like that way, and it was good. We talked about this before,
but until the end of the show,
this one I'm going into it going like, this game was fun. So
There's a lot of people who disagree with that, but I agree. I like
Let's get
15.
started.
There's a lot of people who agree though too. It's crazy how many people I hear like loved 15, but yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant.
This one just feels more confidently made.
Focus, Wyvern.
Well, it didn't go into development hell.
You are key to this mission's success. Yes, Sergeant. I said focus,
I love the
Wyvern.
visual style, like the character models and everything. Like, it just looks awesome.
Also, the seamless gameplay to cutscene is fantastic.
Sweet home.
Allow me to welcome you to the world of Final Fantasy XVI. Final Fantasy XVI is the latest installment in the Final Fantasy series, a storied franchise with 35 years of history. Yet while this is the 16th mainline title in the series, there's absolutely no need to have played any of the previous games before jumping in. With a fusion of real-time action and RPG features, Final Fantasy XVI has been developed as the first true action RPG in the series.
He gets the chocobo, Kool-Aid all over his
Using
face.
the power of the PlayStation 5 to its fullest, the game delivers an expansive, thrilling gameplay experience which we liken to a high-speed roller coaster ride.
Icon battle.
I've already seen this.
so cool. Oh my god. Horrifying.
He's huge. I feel like they already showed plenty. We're gonna watch 25
The protagonist
minutes.
of our story is Clive Rosfield, and his journey takes place in the realm of Valisthea. We follow the epic tale of Clive, Shield of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria, as it unfolds across 3 distinct periods in our hero's life: his teens, 20s, and 30s.
Love it.
While the story begins with Clive in his 20s, a fully playable flashback will allow you to experience the pivotal events that shaped his past and present.
That's cool.
And thus does the curtain open on this newest Final Fantasy adventure.
How will abilities be affected by that, though? Spoilers, I don't want to see this.
Seen it a million times.
Not the Phoenix part.
Super clean.
Yeah, I was going to say
Navigation
solid
in
UI.
Final Fantasy XVI is driven via a world map, with locations being added and updated as players progress through the main narrative.
If I can put that map in 14, damn
The
it.
world map can be opened at any time, allowing players access to all manner of locations across Valisthea. Here, players will meet new friends, encounter formidable foes, and uncover great and wondrous mysteries.
Love the world.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Fuck yeah!
Oh yeah.
Got to that part in Hogwarts Legacy.
It's crazy that Final Fantasy come out at such lengthy times from each other at this
I'd like
point.
to
The
talk about
graphics
the
are doing
combat
such
of Final
huge
Fantasy
jumps between
XVI.
games now.
All the battles in the game take place in real time and are not turn-based. As Clive progresses through the story, he will learn a wide array of exciting abilities from the icons that he encounters. Now, let's take a moment to admire Clive in action.
It's hyper as fuck. Shoot my Phoenix. So switchy.
trying to interpret what I'm fucking saying. You know, well, the people who are always saying they want Final Fantasy turn-based again, it's been so long now that it's just not going to happen, but if this is like a full-on action system, I'm curious to see the amount of people who feel alienated by that, which I feel like people are going to complain but still play it, versus how many new people that could get to play this. So I feel like that you could get more people who
the abilities that Clive
would typically not play a JRPG.
Well, I know in an interview, Yoshi, he
they
said that they wanted to focus on bringing
players can use
a Final
ability
Fantasy
points
for this
collected by
generation
defeating enemies
of player,
to
game
unlock
players.
more abilities or upgrade
they also
existing
have to be
ones.
Worried about action. There's like items you can put onto like completely simple.
Can't decide which iconic ability to unlock or upgrade? No problem.
He
You
showed
can
an
let the
example where
game
it's just
choose
hitting
for
one
you.
button, holding control like this in your combat. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just like they just
Final
explained right
Fantasy
there, you'll be able to auto
includes a range of
upgrade your
timely
character if you
accessories
want.
to provide support to those
It does.
players who may not be so skilled at action games, bringing them a truly enjoyable experience. Players are encouraged to equip Clive with different combinations
I mean,
of
I
these
won't use those,
accessories
but that's
until they
cool
find
there.
the one that perfectly matches their own playstyle.
Skill tree look cool
A
though.
combination I can particularly
Like you can
recommend
upgrade
to
things.
those who may struggle with action gameplay is the Ring of Timely Focus and the Ring of Timely Strikes. This combination allows players to unleash a wide array of different techniques just by pressing a single attack button, as well as shifting into a window of slow motion whenever Clive is about to be hit by an attack,
see,
giving them a
they're
little
just
extra time to
accessible
hit
for
target
everybody,
and
yeah.
evade. Alternatively, players could equip an accessory that fully automates evasion. As I said before, I really encourage everyone to discover the combination that
This
works
isn't even
best
just for
them.
somebody who like might not have the skill to play a more action game, but somebody who's not as interested in playing that kind of combo heavy skill, not skill, but action type game. Maybe they just want something a
And
little
for
more
those who want to
automated
concentrate on the
feeling.
story, don't forget to choose Story Focus Mode before starting a new game. In this mode, timely accessories are automatically equipped from the start, allowing players to immerse themselves in the narrative experience without having to worry too much with the action.
Yeah, the game was modern as fuck.
Clive will meet many characters along his journey who will join him as friends and allies.
Give me that Moogle.
True.
This place. These are fallen ruins.
Well, we didn't think they'd mind. And it keeps the black from our lungs.
But how do you survive without magic?
Sidolphus, who becomes a mentor to Clive. Jill, a friend from Clive's youth.
It really is.
Such encounters and reunions will set Clive on a path of great personal growth.
It is.
Clive!
Some of these companions will even accompany Clive on his adventures, fighting alongside him and finding lots to talk about along the way. That said,
Doggo.
players will only need to focus on controlling Clive. Party members are fully AI-driven, providing support for the hero and constantly adapting and responding to his actions.
So happy.
They're great looking.
In 15, they were kind of meh.
Yeah. Yeah, I barely used magic.
Dude, that was boring one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we cannot forget Torgal. A smart, strong,
Damn.
and fiercely loyal hound.
You get
Torgal
tossed
is
around.
always by Clive's side and willing to stand by him in the face of whatever cruel fate may befall them. Torvald will act of his own accord, but players can also give him direct commands. Just don't forget to give this good boy some treats every now and then.
Goots.
I'm give
Get
him
her
all the
upstairs.
treats, dude.
But none will...
Don't fret about Karen. I've taken care of her fee.
All of
Good
it.
job on the
He's
characters.
the best healer this side of the
Fantastic.
battle. You've nothing to worry about. Go on. Have a look around. I'll be in my solo.
After progressing somewhat through the game, Clive will gain access to Sid's hideaway. Here in the hideaway, Clive will find a shop where he can purchase new weapons, armor, and consumables such as potions.
Cannot find a better price than that.
Well,
Blackthorn, a highly skilled
That's
blacksmith,
what I hear.
works the hideaway's forge, bring in materials to craft new gear or upgrade existing items.
Okay.
After upgrading your equipment or unlocking new abilities, try accessing the Arete Stone. Here, players can enter a virtual training area outside the bounds of time and space, where they are free to refine and practice combos of their very own. Once you're confident in your
took a bit of a note
skills,
from
try
fighting
your
games
hand
there.
at arcade mode and see how your scores stack up against players from around the world.
Who has the input monitor?
The Hideaway is home to a lot of other features as well. Not only will players discover a variety of side quests here, but they can also view information on quests offered all around Valisthea.
All right, Clive. Still busy saving the world?
Mid. When did you get back?
Dang.
Is that Otto?
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon.
Visit the hunt board to gain information on elite marks, fearsome foes lurking about the realm in desperate need of slaying.
Yeah, that's
the
cool.
Moogle will be your guide. There's also Loresman Harpocrates, who will unlock Valisthea's secrets as Clive recounts tales of his adventures.
I kind of love they did that.
Yeah.
I have quite the find for you today. You wish to study the tomes?
This is the lore book, basically.
Here for another of my lectures.
And Vivian Ninetails,
What is it that
a
you wish
scholar
to
and
learn?
strategist who will
Here's
be
the
more than
latest
happy to
information I
explain to Clive the current state of the realm and provide information on key players. There are all kinds of interactions and features in the Hideaway to help players get even more enjoyment out of their time with Final Fantasy XVI.
Ever changing, Clive.
On his travels, Clive will encounter a wide array of fearsome foes.
Fuck those things.
effects are really good.
Yeah. Interesting take on Fafnir, okay. It's crazy how cinematic they made it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
He will, of course, clash with the dominants who wield the power of the icons.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the visuals, obviously, but like the variety is also really nice. Like everything we're seeing is different from the last thing.
Colossal beasts
crazy looking.
That was
the surrounding
one of the
lands
coolest
under
looking
their
earth
sway.
spells I think I've seen in the game.
Yeah.
Mysterious constructs of the fallen, a civilization shrouded in mystery.
Feels like there's more to dig into with this game than like 15. That's fucking great.
I can't.
Yeah. Hopefully this plays well.
I don't know, man. Everyone's touched the game, so it's fun. So
Perfect.
it wasn't just journos. So.
And we cannot forget the icons themselves. Experience unparalleled real-time action combat as Clive takes command of the iconic might coursing through his veins and shatters his very limits. The shining point of Final Fantasy XVI, however, has to be the breathtaking icon versus icon battles. These epic confrontations all play out in real time, allowing players to control their very own icon with their own hands.
It definitely seemed to be more spectacle than like gameplay, but still neat.
Yeah, I listened to a guy who got the chance to play it, and he said
these battles differ depending on the icon encountered, and every showdown is unique, right down to gameplay. Players will experience everything from a 3D
It'll feel more
scrolling
investing
shooter
though when
to
you're
a
playing the
heavyweight
story and you're
wrestling
invested
match
in the
with
story and
devastating
these events are
attacks that
happening though.
encompass the
he didn't say
entire
this as a
battlefield.
complaint. He was just letting you know, like those are they're cutscenes. You're just participating.
Just reminds me, I said this the last time too, it reminds me of
boss battles are
Metal Gear Solid
entirely
4
seamless,
when you're
and I can
Metal Gear
promise you
Rex against
heart-stopping,
Ray.
controller-gripping excitement. I can't wait
It's
for you
like
to get your
basic
hands on the
gameplay,
game
but
for
like I
yourself.
fucking love that part. Like, oh my god, this is so dope.
Right. You're part of it.
Yeah.
If it was huge earlier, I couldn't hype.
True.
Nice trick. But if you can do it, then so could I!
Way more like Slender. Got some Panzer Dragoon vibes right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the seamless transitions.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope.
You know, Yoshida made a huge point to bring up that they spent a lot of effort on the loading times.
Well, I mean, it's on PS5, so.
Odin!
That was a good chunk of damage.
So everyone, what did you think? Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Final Fantasy XVI will be available worldwide June 22nd. And there's still plenty that we've left to reveal.
It's actually really
Battle
soon.
Content, side content, endgame content, and more.
Endgame
we hope to bring
content.
you more on these aspects of the game in the near future. Also, I'm truly excited to finally be able to reveal that Final Fantasy XVI's main theme was written and performed by one of Japan's greatest recording artists, Kenshi Yonezu. We've still got a lot more in store for you in the coming weeks, and I hope you'll all pre-order the game and join us in Valisthea on release day. This has been Naoki Yoshida,
I'm pretty sure.
producer
I could
of
be
Final
wrong.
Fantasy
I'm pretty sure
XVI.
that's
I'll see you
the
again
guy
soon.
16プロデューサーの吉田でした。
プレイステーション
All right, impressions.
I mean, been saying it every time we watch something. This game looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Final Fantasy nut anyways, but holy crap, this game looks polished.
Yeah, the thing I appreciate about this over the last couple things we've watched on this is each one of those just gave us visuals. The last one showed us the icon battle, which was cool to see. This was the type of presentation I like to see, though, where it kind of gave us a deep dive on everything. I'm already sold on this game. I already want to play it. You don't have to show me anymore. But all I knew was it has an active combat system that's, a little more hyper than I'm used to with Final Fantasy. It's good looking. I know, it has to do with this character and different parts of his life. But this kind of gave us a clear view on what to expect when it comes to like the map, how you're going to be going around, doing your main missions, your side quests, how, the icon battles will be similar but very different. How it's its own system. We got to look at the inventory. We got to look at the skill trees. And we just got a better general sense of what the gameplay experience is going to be with 16 without hopefully spoiling too much. I saw some stuff in there that I kind of feel like I wish I didn't, but we didn't get any like core story explained to us. But yeah, like I said last time, the game looks even better now, but I'm at the point now where I'm just ready to play it. I don't know if there's much more I need to know about it. I am curious a little bit about Endgame, whatever they're planning to do with that. That's interesting because these guys have, history with working on an MMO. So,
Almost all Final Fantasies have post games.
They do, but the idea of it like an end game, I don't know if they're planning on something that's going to have longevity or if it's just going to be like accolades. Obviously, there's Final Fantasies with like things to do at the end, but some of them also feel like, that's it. Once you get those things done, you're done. So I'll be curious to see what they do with this because it seems like they put a lot of work into it. The environments are super varied and different, and I don't know how deep the leveling system will be or the gear, but it would be neat to, because I get this with every JRPG I beat, I don't want it to end.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't know how the story will end in this, but if there is some way to continue existing in that world, just for fun or whatever, it would be cool. but I don't know what they're planning, and I would like to know more on that. But that's pretty much about as far as I think I need more info on outside of. I think it's it. I think that's all I really need to know, because other than that, I'm already very sold on this. It looks great, and at the most, watching this just made me want to play even more, because now they're showing like longer takes of him in different environments fighting different things. I'm like, I just want to be doing that. I just want to be playing that. I don't want to watch you play. I want to play it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very optimistic and feeling really good about this game coming out in June. I'm ready to play it, and it's looking like it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be here any day now, pretty much. I mean, it's 2 months away, so
yep. Just crazy.
Yeah. I'm thrilled to see them make a title with no like issues,
hiccups,
at least that we've heard of with it. I mean, even Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a fantastic game, that had a studio change partway through its development. So like, I get kind of worried sometimes, because like Square has a tendency to bite off more than they can chew, and but I also I'm a little biased, and when I found out that Creative Business Unit 3 was the one working on it, I have like full trust in that studio. I mean, they've been treating Final Fantasy 14 right for years, so and they're really good about keeping schedules and stuff like that. So yeah, it was in good hands to begin with. And the director, I wish I could remember his name. It looks like he's doing a fantastic job too. I know this is not his first project, but I think it is his first directing project, if I'm not mistaken. And it'll be a big one. I mean, he gets to do a main number of Final Fantasy, so that's great. Yeah, I look forward to it. I hope, as much as I think games can be too long, games like this, like you said, it's kind of like you don't want to stop playing it.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm hoping is a longer game. Yeah, not feeling bloated, but just kind of something I expect from a Final Fantasy.
Well, I mean, it's some good examples, like Persona 5 is like easily a 100-hour experience, and I'm having fun the whole time I'm playing it. And then like Dragon Quest 11 was a huge long game with lots of stuff to do in it too.
It never felt like it was too long for me.
So
I think I put like 120 hours into that or something.
Yeah, it'd be easy to do for sure. I don't remember what I put into it, but I did a lot of side stuff, so it took up a lot of time. And that's what I want out of a like AAA role playing game, is I want to just like want to be in it. So so yeah, looking forward to it. Though I better get some stuff knocked out in 2 months.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get shit knocked out, get fucking right with God, so I have time to play this shit uninterrupted. Because I gotta make sure that I can just focus on this outside of channel obligations that I'll obviously play. But I'm not gonna be mixing time with this and something else unless it's like Hunt, where I can just hop in, do a match or whatever, not feel invested in trying to keep track of a story or something like that.
For sure.
I'll be focusing purely on this, because it looks like it's going to have a lot to it. Even with that hub that they showed off, it had some pretty basic stuff with like things you can unlock when it comes to information. A lot of games have stuff like that. I do love the 2D graphics that they have in there, though. It's a cool little nod to older Final Fantasies. But even in some games, you can go through like sections in the options that I always don't fuck with, but it'll have like character bios you can click on. It kind of seems like they're doing something similar to that, but the way they described it made it sound like it's going to be showing you active relationships and what's happening in the story with those characters at the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a nice little touch in a game that's going to be spanning 3 different timelines in one dude's life.
Decades of time,
and different events happening. It'd be a good way to kind of refresh, especially if you're somebody who's played JRPGs, took a break, came back, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Who's this again? You could go check that and be like, oh yeah, this person's helping this person, they're doing blah 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 blah. It's a nice little touch. Also, you were talking about character models, I think around this time, and it's standard now, where like mocapping is really good, facial mocapping, but the last Final Fantasy outside of 7 Remake was 15, which was a while ago, and even watching that guy like bite the apple and his face moving while he did it looked really good, really good. So it's nice to see that kind of AAA quality in the 16th Final Fantasy, which should be a high quality game. So it's just nice to see that. Also, we already said it, the effects are fucking. I mean, it's Final Fantasy, so you expect good effects, but like these are like really top notch.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see it because.
I hate that guy's beard is tucked into his shirt.
Odin? Or not Odin. Yeah, Odin. Right?
Was that Odin?
No. Ramu.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. This is stupid feeling.
Well, in 14, it's like as tall as he is and all puffy. So
he just shove it in his shirt. He's like me with my beanie. I got all this hair and I just shove it in a beanie to keep it orderly.
There you go. Do what you gotta do for combat.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I lost my train of thought. Anyways,
I've just been gushing about everything.
Yeah, it was a game I was gonna buy anyways, and I'm just glad to see it so polished and whatnot. I also love that like I said kind of before, the guy directing is getting his shot at it. Yoshi P is getting his, even though he's just the producer of it, he's still getting his shot at being in charge of a single player high fantasy game. I know he wanted to make a high fantasy game because Final Fantasy 14 is a blend of sci-fi and fantasy. So, and he was really itching to make like just a pure fantasy game. So, he got his chance with this, obviously. And then I heard Soken's music throughout the trailer, which is always a treat. The guy is phenomenal.
Sounds really good.
Yep. It's just gonna be devastating if it comes out and it sucks. So
yeah,
because I'm way too looking forward to this. So
yeah, I'm actually hyped for it.
Yeah.
So it would suck if it comes out and it's like bad. But the story would have to be bad because what I'm seeing gameplay wise, it looks like a game I want to play. So
true.
There'd have to be like something hidden they're not showing us, which would just be stupid. So I have faith at the very least the game is going to be fun to play.
Yeah. And then after this, like you said, there's Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 14, and Dragon Quest 12 somewhere.
Can't wait for that.
So
I'm a fan after the last one. Late, but I am now. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Yeah. Overall, really stoked. And it's coming out very soon, and it's looking like it's ready to come out. It doesn't look, there's nothing about this. I'm like, oh, well, hopefully they fix that by the time it comes out. It's looking finished. I'm ready to play it. So let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about this 25-minute presentation of Final Fantasy 16? What really stood out to you from this? Something you maybe noticed that we didn't talk about, bring it up. And is there something you're concerned about? Maybe there's something about this. Maybe you're still not a fan of the active, combat system. It's more hyper. Maybe you have apprehensions about quick traveling on a map. Maybe you want to do the fly around in an airship thing like older games. Might be a thing we haven't seen. I don't know. What do you think about the icon battles? Do they look cool to you? Do you think they just look a little too cinematic? And yeah, let me know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Final Fantasy 16, and it's coming out soon. All right, it's that time again where we will revisit past episodes and read your comments and reply to them. If you want a comment read for sure, type in hashtag AskTLG. Makes it easier for me to find it, prioritize it, read it first before everybody else. Otherwise, I read it random. Okay, so we did a review for Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein. Again, for Plus Club, we have reviewed Code Vein twice now, and I hope there will not be a third time. As much as I think the game's fun, don't want to do it. Maybe Code Vein 2, though, when that comes out. Anyway, that was Plus Club. Make sure to go check that out if you want to see our reviews of those games. I thought it was a good conversation. And we got a comment from Psycho Scream saying, the thing with the class system is that the operators were still kind of split into class categories, just not in individual class categories. You still can use whatever weapon you want, just that you get a mediocre bonus to whatever type of weapon they would traditionally be using in old Battlefield games. Other than that, it's still pretty fun to play here and there. Yeah, it's an interesting mid-ground I think they did with that. We already talked about it quite a bit in that episode, so make sure to go back and check that out if you want to see the full discussion. But the way Battlefield 2042 came out really kind of betrayed a lot of the fans of Battlefield in terms of getting rid of the class system. So they brought it back, but they kind of kept some of that energy that they put into their original idea, which I can respect because it's what they wanted to do. I don't think it was the right move, but they didn't want to completely throw it out. So they found a really interesting mid-ground. If I'm being honest, though, from my gameplay, I didn't really dive into that or pay attention to it all too much. I was just stoked that I could be an assault or an engineer. So that's all I was focusing on. If I played again, that being if it goes on sale on Steam, that's the only way I'm going to play. I'm not going to play it on console. I will pay more attention to that, but I can respect that they did something in between because me and as a lot of people are a more traditional Battlefield fan felt satisfied with what they did with the classes. So nothing to add.
I couldn't. Yeah, I don't have enough of an opinion.
Just be like, you're right, Psycho, and when you're right, you're right. No? Okay.
No.
Thank you for the comment, Psycho. Moving on. All right. So I did my beta impressions of Diablo 4 after playing it. I had some good things to say about it, some bad things to say about it, and some things I had questions on. We got a couple comments. I'm going to read a couple of them. We got Card Small saying, one thing you mentioned got me thinking, and that was the half-screen skill tree. I believe you can change skills while in combat, and the game doesn't pause while you're in the menu, so maybe it's a way to keep your situational awareness. I don't know, just a thought. I actually thought about this too, like even before and after I had filmed this, but in the moment when I was filming it, I more so, the functionality makes sense to me. It's just weird on my ultra wide, like it's just over in the corner, and to get around the skill tree you have to do a lot of scrolling around, like clicking and moving the map around, and then there's just this big fat button to make it go all the way across. And I can appreciate what they're trying to do because and the other games do similar things sometimes where they'll cover like half your screen, but just maybe it's a UI thing, maybe that was kind of throwing me off with it. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, especially in the moment. Like you said, there's no pause. It's an online game, so it makes sense that like you just leveled, where you were going in the skill tree. You just pop that thing open real quick and do it and get out of there. And then if you want to get a little more in depth with the skill tree, you're in a safer spot, you can full screen it. So it makes complete sense. It wasn't necessarily a negative from my perspective, just an interesting design choice. So yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right when it comes to that. So yeah, you didn't play it.
Nor will I.
So I don't think you have much to say on that.
No.
All right. Perfect. And then we got Psycho Scream again saying, played mostly Barbarian, 24. And a small bit of Druid, 9. Didn't really see much lag, but did get kicked once. Saw a lot of weird damage dips and crazy high peaks. Like I'd be doing no damage at all, and all of a sudden on a different pack of mobs and elites, I'd one-shot them all with basic attacks. Or in one instance, I chunked a dungeon boss to death in seconds. I ran into that too. And I wasn't sure if it was like the scaling or not, but like I'd be cruising through shit. And then all of a sudden I'd run into things I was barely doing anything too. So, yeah, I don't know what that was. It felt, if anything, it felt kind of clunky, I guess. I don't know. Continuing, he says, I hated doing dungeons. The loot at the end was very mediocre. Agreed. I never got anything cool out of a dungeon. Then the great loot I got from random events. Agreed. Like I got 1 to 2 orange gear from a random event compared to the 0 orange gear from dungeons. Yeah, if I have one major criticism of the Diablo 4 beta, and again, there's plenty I liked about it. The dungeons, I watched a video that said it really, really well. I forgot what their name was. They're obviously a more established YouTuber. They were saying dungeon design is basically you draw an entrance, you draw a circle, and then on the right side of the cave that goes this side of the circle goes to a separate room. You kill this guy, you get key A. Then you go to the other side of the dungeon, go into this side, kill this guy, key B, and then you go to the very top of the cave and you go fight the boss. And he was saying that there's supposed to be like a shitload of caves and dungeons in the game, but he's like, but if they're all like that, like, are they even worth having that many caves and dungeons and stuff? And I was like, that's a really good point, because I literally went in the cave he's talking about. I know exactly which one he's talking about. It's real, what he's describing. And so that was a really underwhelming thing for me, is sometimes the dungeons, they looked gorgeous and I liked fighting things, but they were kind of basic. But my biggest problem was every single boss, outside of like the more cinematic ones, were so mind-numbing for me to fight them. They're so systematic and kind of like a chore. And then, like Psycho says, they would drop like a bunch of whites and some bullshit. Like, and the same thing as he said, I would find the best gear like at random events, which aren't even like the funnest thing to do either, but they're fine because it's kind of, it reminds me of Destiny 2, where there's just things that if you're passing by, you can do it for
Fates and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. So, and to be fair, for anybody who's going like, well, you know, it's a beta, 100%. It's a beta that can balance all this stuff. And this is just honest feedback. So hopefully, you know, other people have the same opinion, or somebody hears me and they go, okay, they're noted. We'll look into it. So, because I want it to be awesome, and I want dungeons when you complete it to go like, oh, fuck, dude, I got this thing from fighting that fight. And I'm stoked, not going like, oh, fuck, that was kind of rough and I didn't get anything. Like that kind of sucks. It's deflating. So yeah, I agree with you on that. And then Barbarian 24 and Druid 9. I heard a lot of complaints about Druid, and I heard nothing but great things about Barbarian. So kind of makes sense you went further with one than the other. But yeah, do you have anything to add? All right. Well, thank you for the comment, Psycho, and thank you everybody who commented. And yeah, make sure to type in hashtag AskTLG next time you comment. Otherwise, I pick at random. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tastecast, episode 185. Thank you for joining me, Chevy.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you for joining me, everybody who watched this. Until the next episode, have a good one. Take it easy, and let's jump to the outro. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Tastecast, episode 185. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on our socials and streams linked down below. Check out our Discord link down below. You can talk to us same time all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us in audio form. And we have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. And don't forget to check out my TikTok link down below. I post about 2 to 3 times a week doing shorts over there. I'd be posting them on YouTube, but they don't allow me to do it for some reason. And yeah, I've been Seth, and until the next episode, we will talk to you guys later.